Good evening, dreamers. Good evening, fellow nautical enthusiasts of the Dreamiverse. Greetings and welcome to the fourth episode of our Dreamiverse Deep Dive. My name is Schreppybroepke and I have got Kamian here with me. And we are just about ready to embark upon another, deep sea exploration of the Dreamiverse. What a time to be alive, right? What a time to be alive and to be a member of the Dreamiverse. When we did the last episode 7-8 weeks ago, we were happy that Gemini Rising, a fantastic, meaty, massive game, had just been released. We ended the stream on a high note, and things were looking, well, if not bright, then at least not as bleak as they have been looking for a while now. So I think we were all quite taken aback by recent developments. And even so, we said we really wanted to go back to streaming and to go back to doing these Dreamiverse deep dives, because if anything, creators now need even more, have an even bigger need of people holding up their work and of people streaming their work and interacting with their work. And so, that's what we're still here for, I guess, right, Kamian?
Yeah, first of all, good evening from my side too, and I'm really happy to be back. And I can subscribe to everything you just said. So it's a kind of weird situation of being in this kind of limbo where there are still so many great games in the Dreamiverse that really deserve to be explored. And at the same time, we feel that the support of the platform as it is coming to an end, at least in regard to updates and so on. But as you said, there are still so many gems in the Dreamiverse to explore and to play and to feature that it was really for us something we really wanted to do, to keep exploring, keep doing these deep dives and showing off some of the really great dreams in the Dreamiverse. So, and with that, I think today we have a very special episode because, full disclosure, the game we are going to play is a game that I haven't played in the full version so far. I played the demo and I really liked it a lot. But we'll try to shake up the format a little bit today. So, Shreppy, you played the game and you loved it.
Right. Right, I've been a playtester on this upcoming game, and for a long time now. And so we thought, what better way to experience this, seeing how we have Kamian and his amazing hardcore gamer skills on hand. What better way to experience this upcoming game than Kamian going in blind, more or less,
exactly.
and me cracking wise in the background.
Looking forward to that. Will be great.
Yes, it'll be great. Before we get to that, let me also say hello to everyone who's tuned in. Hi, Big Mofo Gaming, welcome in the chat. Of course, while we are doing this, you are very much welcome to comment, to ask questions, to throw weird sentences at us. We'll be keeping at least one eye on the chat at all times. So feel free to let your voice be heard and feel free to speak up to address whatever questions may come up. So, shall we dive in, Kamian?
Yeah, let's do it. So here we are again, as if it was yesterday.
Yeah, nothing has changed except we're streaming a dead game now. And Big Mofo Gaming has a great question before we begin. If these videos will eventually be showing up on YouTube? Yes, they will be. We'll be streaming this live on Twitch, as you can see, and it'll remain on Twitch as well. But we'll have a YouTube VOD up as quickly as we possibly can, which probably means tomorrow or the day after tomorrow at the latest. So you will always be able to catch up with the content. We'll also be announcing that on social media as well. So keep an eye on my Twitter or on Kamian's Twitter, and you'll be clued in as to when the VOD goes up on YouTube. So, as for today's main event, I think you can already see that we'll be looking at Strain by Orksom. And Strain is fascinating for so many reasons, but it is also a very long, it has been in development for a very long time, right? And maybe we could start by showing off the first thing I ever saw regarding Strain, and that was back at the 2020 Dreamscom. I remember submitting a booth for that Dreamscom, or this will be nostalgia now. Oh my God, goosebumps! And I remember being really happy having made it into the exhibition. So I checked out the hall where my booth was located right away, and then I came upon this booth here that Kamian is just approaching. Directly opposite my own. And as you can see, this was the booth for Strain. And I still think it's a fantastic example of a really, really mysterious booth, because you just had this weird person standing there, breathing heavily and carrying another character in their arms. And that was, apart from a little text blurb, that was just about everything that was there to see at this point. But I can still remember being really interested at this and wondering what kind of game this might be. And then shortly afterwards, I remember Orksom, the creator, starting to post these short little snippets, these short little demos, or these short little scenes on Reddit, on the Dreams subreddit. And yeah, the game really looked super interesting, very dark, very mysterious, very artsy in a way. And so, luckily enough, not too long after I was, Orksom accepted me as a playtester for the game, and I ended up loving every moment of it. And Orksom finally released Strain about a fortnight ago. No, 3 weeks ago, to be exact. And it is not the finished game. It is an unfinished version of the game, but it is the one final version that we'll be getting. And I think this is an example of what we'll be seeing, probably be seeing a lot in the Dreamiverse in the near future, that people will be releasing stuff in an unfinished state. In this particular case, I can assure you that you'll still be getting several hours of excellent gameplay out of this, and like getting this in an unfinished state certainly is a bittersweet feeling to a certain extent, but it is still far preferable to never getting it at all. And it's a fantastic game. It's I'll be waxing poetical about it for the rest of the night. Suffice it to say that it is undoubtedly one of the most special, unique gameplay experiences and storytelling experiences you'll be able to find on the Dreamiverse, and that is why we really wanted to give this a leg up. It has been getting quite a few plays since its release, but it hasn't been streamed by many people, and whatever attention we can draw to it, we will draw to it, because it's an absolutely fantastic and unique and original game.
Yeah, now you definitely got me interested.
Right.
I can say that I played the demo, so this one here, and
yeah, the
I
demo
really
has been
enjoyed
out
it.
Since I think it has been out since last Dreamscom, right? So
yeah,
this was
pretty
what
long time.
Orksom preferred.
So
yeah.
Let's have a quick look. I mean, yeah, it was last Dreamscom, so last year in May. I was just for a minute wondering, but yeah, it's pretty much 1 year ago, and I played it. I really liked it. I didn't finish it though. I don't know why. Maybe life got in the way. I can't remember, but I remember that I really enjoyed the part I played. And when we talked about today and how we were going to do this, usually both of us go back to the games that we both really liked and play them again to really look out for the stuff we want to highlight, look out for the stuff that we really want to drive home in regard to what we love about them. And for this one, I said, wouldn't it be great if I just played the full game for the first time on stream, and we had this nice combination of you basically having play tested the game, having played the game, having really a deep deep experience with the game, and me basically coming with fresh eyes and having the opportunity to really see it maybe for the first time. And I think this will make for a great combination, and I'm looking forward to that. And I think we are 10 minutes into the stream. Should we just give it a try?
Definitely.
Okay,
Shoot.
let's go. I always love these little menus. And in the About section, I think it's exactly what you just said, right? So 3 years of development, and it's basically released in this unfinished state, but still playable.
And I think one thing we have to point out in all fairness is that the recent situation with Dreams is not the only reason that this was released in an unfinished state, right? So Orksom said himself that this helped him decide to release it now in its unfinished state, but he was already feeling overwhelmed by the game, and I think that's perfectly understandable. Orksom has been hard at work on this for two bordering on 3 years, and so in a way the official announcement about support for Dreams ending really just pushed him a little bit, gave him a little shove in a direction he was already leaning into. So this is not totally on Media Molecule or not totally on Dreams support being ended. Even so, it's what got us the game as we are looking at it now. So it's all for the best, I suppose.
So let's start. And I think it starts off exactly the same way as the demo, right? So we are at the beach.
Yes. Mm-hmm. The demo actually the demo gives you the first level of the finished or the mostly finished game.
It's already so intriguing to have this kind of start to the game. It's really something that you haven't seen before. I really love that about so many Dreams that really try to do something that is really fresh and new. And I mean, I see some stuff that might be a reference to, or the atmosphere reminds me of some Kojima games, I think. It's this kind of dark, techie atmosphere. Maybe that. But, I remember that. So you have to take this kind of corpse with you because it keeps you alive, right? So this was the...
Right. So you have this this stamina gauge, which will become an issue in a moment. And the only way to keep your stamina filled up is to stay close to this body that and drag it along, and you can, as you can see here, you can also carry it. None of this is ever explained. I'm not giving anything away. It's just the way it is. This is just the way the game starts up. And I'm so glad you talked about maybe some influences being visible here, because this is basically what originally drew me to the game, that it resembled stuff I was already very fond of. Like where you see Kojima, and I agree that there's certainly an element of Death Stranding, for instance, in the design. I felt reminded of games like Inside or Limbo by Playdead, or older still, one particular kind of puzzle platformers that actually has existed ever since Prince of Persia. Stuff like Another World, stuff like Heart of Darkness, the classics by Eric Chahi, stuff like the old Oddworld games. This particular blend of puzzle platformer where you do a lot of platforming, but a lot of the game is also about managing resources, coordinating machines, using mechanisms, and making sense of what you're actually looking at, what kind of world you're actually playing in. And I think the game starts off rather beautifully in that
Yeah, it's great. I was
respect.
just marveling at the scenery. I mean, it is done without many details, but the details that are picked are so nicely chosen, and
Yes.
the art style really drives home this kind of melancholic vibe. I really
It's
like it a
it's
lot.
it's it's really it's great that Orksom gives us just enough detail. I think this is
Yeah.
something that will become even more obvious later on. That there is it's not super detailed. It's not a realistic environment, but he gives us just enough detail to appeal to our sense of interest. And here you can already see some very basic puzzles that basically explain themselves, right? You can use the corpse to weigh down all kinds of pressure plates or of mechanisms. And so the game really puts you through these paces because now we'll be exploring the first part where we actually need to leave the corpse behind.
Yeah, I
So you
remember
can
this.
camp somewhere or get access to your more involved traversal mechanics. You really have to leave the corpse behind, like this.
And now, if I remember correctly, I'm basically on a clock, right?
Yes, you are on a clock because your stamina now has started to run out and will run out further, which with every action you take. I cannot actually tell you how much power you have or how much stamina you have. I think the game does a fantastic job of always giving you just enough stamina. The one thing I can tell you is if you run or if you overexert yourself, you burn through your stamina reserves faster. So it's once you've left the corpse behind, it's always a good idea to do stuff as economically as you can.
Oh, now
See,
something seems to be happening. Yeah, I see.
yeah, see now you have this heavy breathing and
Uh,
the edges of the screen are blurring a bit, and you
and it's
really need
such a
to,
great sense of urgency that is induced by this.
yeah.
I mean, it's really like you want to use your stamina sparingly and efficiently, and
And as far as I'm aware, you don't actually die from losing all stamina. You will as far as I know, you will always stay
we'll find out in this stream. You know
in
me.
this state at least. In this state at least. But there you go. Once you approach your friend
Uh-huh.
again, your stamina keeps filling back up.
So great. And by the way, one thing that I have become really intrigued by and aware of is not only good openings to games, but also good tutorials. And I can already tell, and I remember this from the demo too, this is such a nice way of easing the player into the mechanics. Like, at first, you're just told how to hold the corpse, right? So, as you said, the game
Yeah.
doesn't explain this is something you need to survive. You could try it by just running away from it, and you would probably find out at the start. And this first little more intricate puzzle is based around really showing you you need to use your stamina wisely, and you need to make sure to never get too far away from the corpse. It's so
Yeah.
nicely done with so minimal inputs in regards to telling the player this is how it works, basically giving you the opportunity to experience it rather than telling you
Right,
about it.
and the easiest thing would have been to clutter the screen with all kinds of text boxes explaining you precisely how the mechanics work. The game never does that. The game does have this about screen, and you can at all times take a look at what the controls are. But the tutorials themselves and the way you learn the basic mechanics of the game are always implemented in a very organic way. And at the same time, while we are picking up the basic controls, I think we already find ourselves wondering, what is this place, right? Is it some kind of fortress? Is it some kind of city? Is it some kind of industrial installation? So the mystique is already increasing at this point.
It's a little like a steampunky Team Eco game. It's
right.
this kind of
right. You have a point there. There's this sense of scale and this sense of soaring.
Yeah, and it's a really empty space. So you are alone here, and there is only the wind like whistling through these areas here, and it's rather not meant in a bad way, bland in regards to there isn't much in it. Like it's really the details are used sparingly but effectively. I think it's really, really nice.
And you know, I keep saying this. It reminds more than any other game. It reminds me of 1213, which is weird because it's a really a rather obscure game by Ben Yazzie Croshaw, who's I think mostly known for his brutally honest video game reviews. But he has made a platforming game, a puzzle platforming game called 1213. Which I cannot recommend highly enough because it's very similar to this. Oh, you're in trouble now.
Where was it? There.
Yeah, there was it. There it was. So
something. The camera perspective was throwing me off a little, but I was just again really appreciating the little details here. So when you start, so first of all, this is like you barely make it, and I'm pretty sure this is fine tuned
yes.
to the last iota. And then when you start going here, I mean, when you hear this kind of cracking noise, you know something is going to happen.
You kind of know something's coming down the pipe, right?
Yeah, but it's such a nice way to play with the expectations here. So let's try if I can do this. Yeah, here we go.
It was a respectable place to die, by the way. Like I think that's totally fair to not make that the first time around.
Thanks for saying that.
And see, now you've opened that door back where your corpse friend is, and now
that will allow me to take him.
Yeah, and now you take
with me.
you basically take the long way around.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so clever level design. Now remember, I also played this in the demo too.
And you see now you've used up your stamina again. But like I said, the game basically gives you just enough stamina to do this in a fairly relaxed manner. Like the main.
I don't feel relaxed right now. I feel really under pressure, and I think it's a nice way of inducing this kind of feeling into the player to really have this sense of urgency, but at the same time you feel like I'll probably be able to do it. As you said, you start trusting in the game and in the mechanics. Okay, press D-pad up.
But man, let me tell you, if this stresses you out, you ain't seen nothing yet. Like this is going to get so much worse before it gets better.
I mean, it's so much fun, right? So it's stress really done in a nice way of really keeping you at the edge of your seat, and that's something to say for any video game and for a Dreams game in particular.
What I really like about this is that this basically in the olden days, this kind of puzzle platformer would
just let me breathe for a second.
Yeah, of course.
Go ahead.
So what I was going to say, in the olden days, this kind of puzzle platformer would mostly operate by a screen-by-screen basis, right? Like Prince of Persia, where you always had one screen that you had to get to, and then you could kind of take a break, and then there was the next screen with its new obstacles, and this works very much like that, even though it isn't a screen-by-screen game. It's a more open, real-time 3D world, but it still feels like it's made up of these smaller, subdivided areas where you have to overcome a challenge, but then you get a moment to breathe and to get your bearings again.
And I already feel like what I said earlier, the game really does a nice way of teaching you the mechanics. It's like you enter these kind of little areas, as you said, that could basically be a screen, and you, when entering, already start looking for where exactly do I have to go? How can I minimize the length of the way that I need to take to the next step? So you get really kind of drilled into being observant about the environment in this way. It's really nicely done.
Shoot your shot.
So, do I take him with me? Probably. No, I don't.
Yeah, see? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You always take him with you. The answer is always that you have to get to the corpse.
Did you observe that? Yeah.
That's a sentence for the ages. But yeah, you totally need to get back to him.
Yeah.
But you know, the game has now taught you something very important, and that is how to you figure it out on yourself. I won't give it away.
Thanks. I mean, this is exactly what we were looking for, right? So it's not like doing a demonstration of the game where the player already knows all the stuff that needs to be done and has figured out all the puzzles, but you're basically, together with me, experiencing the game for the first time, because I think this is the first area I didn't play in the demo. The demo was a little longer, I think.
Is that right?
I don't remember it.
Interesting.
So I'll get ready to run. Let's see. Let's go. Keep running. Oh, that's so great. No, take him. Come on, I need to be faster. No, go.
All right.
Woo.
And you know what? Now that you've done it, I can give it away. You know what? You could have made your life even easier for yourself in two ways. Way number one, you could have placed the corpse on the switch with just the feet. So you would have you could have grabbed onto it.
So advanced tactics
earlier.
come into play later.
That's the first thing. And the second thing, which is also important, there was no need to really pick it up and carry it in your arms again. You could just have dragged it away.
But isn't it faster if I carry it in my arms and I can run?
Yes, eventually yes, but you
let me give this a try. This is something I really want to figure out. So when I just drag him, can I also run? No, I can't.
No, but you also don't have the animation either, and time doesn't pause while the animation plays. So if you really need to make a getaway, it can be smarter not to have the animation play.
It depends on how far you want to run, right? So the longer you run, the more worthwhile it will be to pick the corpse up. Okay. So this seems like it was supposed to be happening.
Yes, and I think, see, if you press both thumbsticks, then the game will respawn you prior to this area. So you now know the floor is going to collapse. I think you should be fine if you just stick to the left wall, if I remember correctly. Yeah, see.
You promised not to spoil the solutions.
I mean, look.
You want to get to the meaty parts of the game. I get that.
As far as spoilers are concerned, I think that was a rather soft one. Big Mofo Gaming, thank you so much for coming by. Feel free to check out the rest of the stream later as a VOD.
Yeah, but again, I mean, you were supposed to fall down because the game wanted to explain this kind of reset mechanic to you. I mean, it would be interesting to know if there are two different ways of the way it breaks. Like, is it like the first time you enter here, everything breaks, so you are sure to fall down?
No. You can definitely avoid falling into the pit the first time around. See, and one thing we need to point out, because we just saw this little diamond in the bottom corner, in case people haven't noticed it yet, this is actually a sign of the autosave system. Like, there is an autosave system that will kick in after every, basically after every bigger riddle has been solved. So you never lose that much progress. And you will normally start back at the beginning of a given area or a given room, but you will never have to solve more than one. Usually, you'll never have to solve more than one puzzle again. And the game is really good about this too. Like, it works really well.
Come on, run! Ah, I wanted to get him. I was too late. Okay, I think that's the point where I have to reset, because I need him. Otherwise I'll die, right?
Yeah. Oh, Eklego, hey, welcome. And Eklego says I did way better on the last game jam than I thought I would. Is that the last community game jam? The feel-good one? Is that what you meant? I'll have to be honest with you guys. I was way too demoralized to enter anything into that feel-good contest.
By the way, advanced tactics. I know that it will start slipping down the slope, so I'll try to position it just with the feet on it. So I maximize the way it will be sliding.
See, you're already doing it like a pro.
I'm trying. So, by the way, can we give a shout out to the audio design too? It's really nicely done.
Yes, the audio design is excellent.
Oh, it even...
Okay.
Okay, come on. Oh, okay. So now we were talking about it. I think I need to pick him up here and run, because dragging him won't do it.
You could alternatively have when you are moving past that former wall, you can to the left of that doorway, that will then become a platform, so to speak. You will see what I mean.
Yeah, but I really like that, because it's like. So we were talking about influences. Now I'm reminded of Dark Souls, Demon Souls games. Like, every death is an opportunity to learn more about the game mechanics and to get better at mastering them. I really love that.
Totally.
So now we do the totally pro. Like, you start running here. I try at least. Oh, I'm
all right. Now your apprenticeship is over. You've learned everything that I can teach you.
Go.
Right, and now straight to the right, because that way you will be safe from falling down. See? And this is something the game also does a really good job of, about totally changing around the level geometry, right? Like, stuff that used to be a ceiling becomes a wall, or something that used to be a wall becomes a new floor. No, not that way.
Not enough space. Okay. Okay. It was closer than I expected.
And Eklego says about the community jam, it was probably the most entered jam ever. I can easily believe that. Still, to be perfectly honest, I was a bit too demoralized. That was the first reason, and I also thought that the feel-good subject was really a terrible choice, and I really didn't want to encourage that. I'm really happy that you did as well as you did, though. I remember like, getting the third place in a community jam was basically my one claim to fame that I ever managed to win in the Dreamiverse. So yeah, I can definitely see why that made you happy.
Oh, and again, I love the way this kind of little building space here, this little settlement was introduced earlier. You had a sneak peek at it from above. Now it collapsed, and obviously we are going there now. I like these little level design touches that kind of tease these new areas, and then later on you will basically get there. It gives such a nice feeling of space.
This is still basically the demo content, right? Like we are still in the first scene, so this is what you get what you also get when you just play the demo.
I really don't remember why I didn't finish the demo back then. I should have. That's all I can say right now. I should have by what I've played so far. I'm really enjoying it.
So far so good, and now we get to know yet another element, and that's these blocks. And Lego, if you haven't played this yet, you should. Like I said earlier in the stream, it's not the finished game in a sense that the game will never be finished, but it's as close to the finished game as you'll get, and it's really worth it. Oh, look who comes knocking.
Well, these set pieces are so nicely done.
I know, right? And the animation is really good.
Yeah, definitely. And again, it's not a lot of animation, but the animation that is done really nicely. And that's so important about good game design in total, but also about good game design in Dreams in particular, I think. Really concentrate on stuff that you can really make shine. And this is such a nice job here.
And you know, this opponent, this giant monster you have there. I mean, I hope Orksom won't mind if I point it out. But it's basically a standard, mostly a standard puppet, right? And it still manages to be so freaking menacing.
Yeah, achieving a lot with simple means. I mean, that's a token of great design.
Careful.
Oh, okay, I see. I didn't have enough stamina left. All right. Again, Demon Souls.
Yeah, and I think at the very beginning you're not quite as much on a timer as you think. Mm-hmm. Like you can afford not to run the entire first part.
So again, I like that the game kind of also manages to mix these things up. So at first I was thinking like, I need to run again. And obviously in this instance, I'm not supposed to run. I need to be more careful about my stamina. So it's really nice that there's one solution fits all. And you really have to try for different things.
And this is something that's true of the entire game. Like some parts of the game are rather challenging, but it's all very much doable. Like even later areas that have you go no way at the beginning, in the end it always turns out to be very much doable. At least everything I've played, all the levels that are in the finished game. Some of them are crazy in how complex they are, but it's always the good kind of complexity. Like it's not trying to punish you, but it's really trying to get you to figure out the best possible solution.
And again, we were talking about the animations and the way small details are used to great effect. You said that the enemy here basically is drawn from... Oh, I need to run a little.
Yes, a little. Just
it's,
a,
it's
just a little.
that it was too sparingly. The enemy is drawn from the basic puppet, and at the same time, I think what really drives this home is, as I said earlier, these sound effects. So the sound design is really bringing home this atmosphere, but also the menace that.
Yes, there's some real heft and some real texture
Yeah, yeah.
to the proceedings. Hi, Leon Gamer 2 in the chat. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. We are just watching Camion being relentlessly murdered, yes, again and again by by a massive Dreams puppet.
Yeah, and having fun doing so. I think that's something we need to stress. All right, here we go again. We need to run a little, but still not as much as in my first try. So we have some stamina left to dodge these. It was kind of a box that was coming towards me, right?
Yeah, like a dumpster, right?
Yeah.
I think if I remember correctly, you can get away with running a bit in the beginning, then letting off a bit, and then running again. And then there's the fact that you already know the dumpster is coming this time around. So
yeah, so I can stick to the right-hand wall.
Just keep on the lookout. Just stay on the lookout for.
Yeah, there will certainly be more. I get that. Oh, come on! It forces me to go to the left. That's also nice. And then, okay, that's great.
Like, I think that's one really great, big achievement of this game, that it feels so obvious and it feels so organic, but I think it has really been
okay.
been tested and optimized to the umpteenth degree. Like all of these things that feel natural to you during the playthrough are really, I think, the result of some rather meticulous planning on Orksom's part.
Yeah, and some really nifty playtesting, I guess, right?
Yeah, but you know what? Yeah, I can. Let me lift it.
Maybe what I wanted to drive at. Can you share some of your experiences when you playtested this?
Yes, I can, because it actually the surprise is that most of it was actually very, very good and very smooth. I remember playing a version of this level where the save system didn't work, though. That was really horrible, because it would never save any. Like you basically had to play through all of it in one go. That was the biggest thing, I guess. And apart from that, it was really mostly. A question of giving players a few seconds more here or a somewhat clearer indication there. But I think I cannot remember anything being completely broken or completely unfeasible. It was more like there were areas where I told Orksom, and I think the other playtesters must have done the same, where we told Orksom, yeah, this is awesome, but you might want to add a bit more leeway here and give people a few more seconds to figure things out.
Okay, I'd say thank you for that. I definitely need these few more seconds. I can already tell that. Okay.
And I remember there were some areas, the kind of stuff we all tend to forget or tend to do badly, like. Where something wouldn't reset correctly after you've lost a life and creating a difficult situation, stuff like that. So minor cleanup, really. But for the most part, the game was already working really, really well and playing really smoothly.
There we go. Now I can't run anymore. I hope it works.
I think you won't need to.
There we go. And it's such a nice sense of achievement when you finally make it. Oh. Great.
There goes the level. And you see over there, that's the area where you...
Yeah, again, these nice little touches. I mean, it's such a great feeling of space. Okay, here we
Oh
go.
man.
Come on, come on. There we go.
And there you go, that was level 1.
So, and how many levels are there in total?
Phew, let me see. I think 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd say 5, 6 or 7.
And are they similar
It's
in length to this first level?
Yeah, that's what gave me pause, because they are not like there are levels that there's one upcoming level that's not too far in the future that actually works more like a hub, you know, like an area that you will be coming back to, and you can basically from that hub going from that hub. You can basically choose which order to tackle some of the other levels in. So that makes the whole thing feel very, very much like an actual place. So I think there's this factory level here. I think it's called the factory. And after that you come, I think, after that you come to this hub level, and then there are several levels, like 4 or 5, splitting off from there. And all in all, I mean, Media Molecule had this as a highlighted creation in one of their recent in their what's the name for the weekly feature?
Oh, I see.
They had it as one of the highlighted creations in any case, and they gave it an approximate playtime of 1 hour, and that's very optimistic to put it lightly. Like, I think we are looking more at 4 or 5 or even 6 hours of gameplay on this. Especially if you still need to figure things out the first time.
There's a second lever.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, up above.
Great. Oh,
And you know, this is such a small thing, but I love the physics on the body, like the way the arms keep dangling and.
So this doesn't do anything here.
But I think you can hang down from the initial platform, and I think there's something.
Okay,
yeah.
you need to go there, and then the indicator shows up. Oh,
There
okay.
you go.
I see where this is going. Ooh.
And you will maybe want to go back just for a second to fill up your. Oh yeah, maybe not. No, maybe not. Yeah, see you.
So let's give it another try.
But you're in a better place now because you're starting with a full stamina gauge. There you go. Ooh. Playing it fast and loose now, are we?
Nice. So this seems familiar, but I guess it's kind of different. Let's see what happens. Okay, we know that.
You know, there's also a bit of Portal in there, isn't there? Like, you have this companion cube.
These riddles, certainly, yeah.
And I mean, at this point, I was already wondering whether this is all some kind of a test facility, you know? Like, has this all been designed to maybe to run somebody through all of these different scenarios?
Oh, I thought I thought now is the time for me to do a timing base, but it doesn't look like it. So there must be something up there. Let's see. So as soon as it's moving, I cannot climb on it.
Yeah.
So that's good to know. So there must be a part of the riddle up here. Let's have a look.
See, I think there's, yeah, I think you can see, you can grapple.
No, don't tell me, don't tell me, don't tell me.
All right.
So there's something happening there. I see that. And this is, okay, I need some more speed. Might run out of stamina, but just give it a try. Still figuring out the mechanics of the puzzles. There we go.
There you go.
This wasn't optimal though. I could have jumped a little more to the right and saved some time. It's so great. I'm already starting looking for little ways to improve on using the stamina. And
yeah.
Again, this is a token of great design in regard to the game. So, oh no, I cannot turn the lever.
And I think it's to the game's testament that it's a testament to the quality of the game design that you rarely have to abandon a run outright. Like there are some situations where you can no longer make it, but even at the worst of times, you can usually learn something.
Yeah, like now, I need to be able to run there, I guess. Otherwise, I won't make the jump.
Oh, careful! You have to put the body on.
Oh yeah, let's not forget about
pad
that.
Is still there. And you know, this is just conjecture because I don't have the behind the scenes. I never checked behind the scenes because I didn't want to kill the mystery. But I think the point where the stamina really starts to deplete in earnest is when you start to run and jump and do stuff like that. So if you just keep walking in ahead, I think you can get quite a bit of mileage out of the stamina bar. So leave it for as long as you can. There you go. Excellent.
Oh, this way. Oh, looks like it was a little too early.
Yeah, you know.
Mm-hmm. It must have taken so much time to really figure out the design here. Make sure that all the jumps are at exactly the right length, and playtesting this so many times to make it work like that. So because especially when you do these kind of puzzle sections, it's so important to look for the details and make sure that it really works and is doable, but at the same time you have this kind of balance of challenge and reward in the end.
And we'll be pointing this out later, but you can actually, like Orksom, along with this game in its mostly finished stage, Orksom has also released a number of abandoned levels or cut levels or half-finished levels, and you can really get an idea of his workflow, and you can really see how these levels will look when he's still just hammering out the central mechanics. And it's fascinating because it's they still work really well as levels, but you wouldn't believe how much how much more finished this looks. Like we said earlier, it's not a super detailed visual style, but only looking at the half-finished levels really gives you an idea of how effective the visual design really is.
Hmm?
I also I love the fact that he hard-coded this little animation of you picking up the corpse. And you know why? Because this is something that really, really always goes wrong with Dreams games, right? Like if he would just rely on the physics doing the job for him, I can promise you would not be able to pick up the corpse at least 50% of the times. But by hard coding it and turning it into this little cutscene, you can always he really makes sure that you will always end up in the position that you want to end up in, and that is carrying this body. Like, yes, of course, it would be more elegant to just have it work every time, but we all know how dodgy Dreams' physics can be sometimes. So this was really a great compromise to make sure that everything works as intended.
Yeah. I think you have a great point there. At the same time, when I started playing this evening, I was wondering whether it would get tedious to watch this kind of animation every time I pick up the body and every time I lay it back down.
And has it gotten tedious already for you?
No, it hasn't. And I think this is also something that's nice to notice. So it's something that you start kind of taking into account when you are going for a certain solution. So you know,
yes.
Okay, picking up the body will take a few seconds. So let's make sure that while I'm taking it up, I'm already thinking about my next step. And it's I think you get into a kind of tunnel in that regard, that you really try to use this time to figure out your next steps. And at the same time, it's like it adds to the feeling of, I mean, the title of the game is Strain, right? So it is like, it makes you feel the strain of, okay, now 2 seconds of really having to wait for the body to be picked up. It drives home this feeling of, it is arduous to take up the body. It is arduous to do these kind of runs. And yeah, so up until now, I think it's a nice way of doing it due to technical reasons, but it also adds to the experience.
Yes. I've actually been wondering about the title, or about the name a lot, and I mean,
almost.
I agree. I agree that one or possibly the interpretation would probably be that strain is supposed to mean strain as in exertion, right? Even
but also
so,
strain as in going to the breaking point of something.
Yes, yes, and even so, I still keep wondering, and maybe we'll never know, but I still keep wondering if there's also a darker meaning in the way of a strain of a virus, or. And by the way, you knew there was going to be spikes, right?
Yeah, there need to be spikes in any puzzle game.
This is actually some of the these spike sections are actually some of the tougher section, because you really have very little room for error.
Almost. So I need to start running before it goes down. It's like I love this. So it's really forcing you to not react to where the spikes are, but where they will be.
Will be. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So basically, I start running now.
No.
Almost. So it was the right way to do it. It's just not, the timing wasn't correct so far. But okay, let's see.
Now, that would have been the
No, give me some time to figure it out. So
now.
Mm-hmm.
See, yeah, that's
nice. So up here. And again, we talked about efficient use of assets and of design elements. And again, you have this kind of gray overall area, kind of concrete structure, and these reddish, rusty metal elements in here. And again, it's the combination of these two makes for some great design without really having to use many details. So it's really simple, but at the same time, I really like it a lot.
And
because it makes these things stick out that you can use, right? So it makes the ways stick out in this regard. The scaffolding, it makes the crane stick out. It's really, really great design.
Yeah, in that way, it's a lot like similar games, like Inside, a game I love very much by Playdead, where some of the elements that you have to interact with are always yellow. So if you see a yellow cable dangling somewhere, or if you see something yellow, you pick up on that because you know that this is something that will become important. And it's similar here. At the same time, for those of you who might be wondering if this does get if this starts looking different at some point, or if it's all about concrete and rusty installations, rusty industrial installations. Without wanting to spoil anything, I can say that this does have some really cool visual ideas later on. Like the first few levels are very much focused on this visual style of a rusted concrete factoryscape, but there are quite a few, there's a few areas that are quite different to look at, and I think Orksom does a brilliant job to make the best of these visuals, but change them up just as soon as they become a bit too samey.
Ooh,
that was a close one.
Go. You cannot speed it up, right? So there is no way of doing a fast...
No, you basically you have to make sure that you...
You mean you need to make sure to survive?
No, ideally, what you've done a great job of it, obviously. But ideally, I think there's this sweet spot where you can basically do it in one smooth motion, right? Like where you'll never have to wait for anything to move out of the way.
Probably need to leave it here. I just need. It was good that I put it on there because I needed the stamina. Yeah. But at the same time, I think I need to still go here.
But in a way, it's a clever way of resource management, right? Where do I put the body? How do I make sure the body is available to rejuvenate me? How do I get the body near where I am to use it as some kind of dead weight to move down some levers? Yeah, see, you can move it up. And you know, this is such a small thing, but that hose extending from your gas mask and how it behaves and how it automatically reacts to the body is also rather clever.
Yeah, my friends, the spikes again.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just leave you here for a second. Try to figure out what I can do. So this door needs to open. There obviously is some kind of contraption in here. And for this door to open, I probably need to go through here. So let's try to, first of all, refill my stamina.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
Sounds like a plan.
There we go.
Very good.
All right. So, stamina. This one got activated.
Yeah, but I think you have to put the body on the switch.
On this one?
Yes.
Okay, I was wondering whether I was becoming was getting good, or whether it was just I was missing something.
The timing of the spikes felt suspiciously generous, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay, that's because you.
Okay, this might be one part of criticism I have. Some of these keep working once you just stepped on them once, and some of them need to have the pressure applied over time.
True.
I mean, there's this little light indicator here that shows you, okay, I could have seen that, right? But it would have been nice to have them kind of distinct in a certain way.
You're right. Have one of them be round, for example, so you clearly know which type you're looking at. That's true.
But again, that's just for easing the player into the mechanic. I don't know if the design philosophy is part of this, right? We talked about being observant, and not seeing that the little light became red is on me. So I'm not sure. So it was my first thought that it would have been nice to have it a little more guided in regard to the design, but maybe it's good the way it is. I'm not sure.
Ooh! Excellent. You need the body, though.
Yeah, I need him back.
Very good. And
doing my
not
best
a minute
here.
too soon. not a second too soon.
Yeah, don't jinx it, though. Still one run to go. Here we go.
Very nice.
Oh, so
very
good.
Nice.
Oh no, more spikes.
Yeah, you know. This here's something.
Yeah, I definitely need to go to the right here.
No. Wait a second. Wait a second. No, this just. I'm not spoiling anything, but let me just tell you that the spikes don't actually hurt the corpse. This is very important information for this part.
Okay, that's good to know. But is there a way to get it up there?
No, but there doesn't need to be a way to.
No. Let's try. Let's try. Okay, enough space. That would have been nice. So how far can I go with the corpse and return, or go to the right and get up? Right. So, okay.
You're really overthinking this.
No, I'm not. You gave me some intel, and I'm trying to use it.
No, you're not. Yeah, see, now we have it. Yeah, see, that's the challenge.
The first thought I had was that there must be a way to deactivate the spikes. That was what I was looking for. I was like, it's obvious I can go here, and the first thing I was looking for is like some kind of lever at the end that helps me to deactivate it. But there obviously isn't anything in that direction. So the next thing you would basically try is exactly what I was going for now.
Mm-hmm. And that, the way you did it before is one option, definitely.
Get up. No. I mean, this was the fast way back, so... Okay, let's go. Let's do this bit by bit, and it should work. Let's do like this. Might have been a little too much. Whoa!
There's one thing you're forgetting. One thing. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, now the question is, where does the corp lie? Still here. Oh,
at the beginning.
That's sad.
If I remember correctly, this is also like, at least it used to be that way in the early version of the level. You could really damage the corpse something horrible here. Like one of the arms would stick up at a wrong angle for the rest of the level. I felt sorry for the poor guy.
Okay. Let's go for the next. one question I have: can I actually just stay here? I mean,
No, I think the whole area becomes some sort of
okay.
a kill plane.
Just wanted to check. I mean, this also could be part of the solution, but it's good to know.
My tip for you would be to not stay too close to the wall, because you can create situations where you can no longer really reliably pick up the corpse.
Pick it up, pick it up. Okay, time to get up.
Now think of Dark Souls, don't get greedy.
I mean, it does a great job at having this kind of indicator. Once they come out, you really need to get up. Yeah, that's when you need to get up. And you would hope that it works the first time you press X.
Yeah, and so, that's maybe a small piece of criticism, is that this should really work 10 out of 10 times.
Okay, now my question is, and please don't tell me, can I do this in one go?
I couldn't tell you if I wanted to. I have no idea. It's been too long.
But do I really have to go do halfway, run back, get up, and then do the second half? I'm almost...
Only one way to find out, I guess.
Okay, let's try to be greedy. Let's try to... No, not like that. If we want to be greedy, we need to be able to pick him up right away. Didn't work right now. Okay. Greed. I think it won't work. No! I should have left him and just run to the end of it. Okay, and now...
And maybe, just maybe, you could have... I mean, this is just theory, but you might have been able to pull him a bit further, in the previous... previous attempt. So maybe that would have been enough.
Yeah, go to the left a little more. Oh, this will get close. Yeah. So if it doesn't work the first time, there's some kind of problem in regard to the controls here when I try to jump up, and sometimes it will work for the first time that he picks up the ledge and pulls up.
Yeah.
And sometimes he will just jump, and this is like this. This is the time you will... okay.
Like you have to basically... It's a bit dodgy, so you basically have to calculate with an extra 5 seconds or something. See, you're getting really... really lean now in your movements. It actually works together with the sound in the background. That's cool.
Oh, still a lot of time. There we go.
Very good.
And it's so great to really feel that you are getting better at the mechanics.
No, you didn't break the arm. See, I remember playing this, and the corpse ended up looking so mangled afterwards. because one of the arms somehow got knocked out of whack.
So when you played this for the first time, what was kind of your highlight of your first playthrough in regard to what we have seen so far?
Good question. I think the set piece where the giant destroys the level at the very end of I think that was I thought that was incredibly well made, and the with it all coming together when you get the timing right, like you did in the end, where you really feel like you're performing the exact right sequence of events at the exact right timing. That was really, I think, a really powerful moment. And this level so far, except for that spiked sequence just now, it almost feels like a bit of a breather after that, you know? Whoops.
Okay, I'll just use this run to explore a little more. I try to explore. Okay, I definitely need to have him closer to me, so I probably need to use the lever right here. It will probably get it further up. Ah, okay, I see. There we go. Let's go to the far right. Again, this is such a nice touch because I cannot use the camera to look at what is actually happening. I just see the shadow, as I would if I was hanging there, right? So it's really
I mean,
nice.
this is so cool because it does precisely nothing, but it really, you really don't want to see to have this guy see you, right?
Mm-hmm.
After what happened in the previous level.
Is there another lever? Because I don't know if I can get down without dying.
You can. I think you can. You didn't have this. Did you have this? Yeah, see?
Well, it is close. I mean, there was no other way to go, so you kind of are forced to try it. Here we go. Next chamber. All right. No permanent one. Okay, it closes the door. Let me see. So maybe. Let's first start to get a good feeling of the room and what it does. So I can probably put it up here and then it will fall down and activate the lever. Something like that.
Yeah, I think this one over here will extend the, yeah, like that.
So clever design. Okay, will this do the trick? Maybe a little more to the wall. Okay, don't run too much. Again, the physics are used to such great effect. Really nice.
Yeah, I mean, the physics and the timing are both so important. Like you really, it's really very much by design, right? You know that figuring out how much time you have left for any given action is very much a part of the gameplay here.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's less about being lucky and having perfect reflexes, and it's more about doing the most with the resources you have.
Yeah, And at the same time, the core gameplay mechanics, I mean, we had a look at the commands here. So the core mechanics are really simple.
Yes.
But the way they are used and the way they are then integrated into the world is what makes it complex. And that's something that I really like about games. When it isn't about you have 20 different button combinations and you need to learn them. It's more about you have these two things you can do, and there are so many different ways of applying these two things in the world that make it interesting. So it's not about complex rules, it's about simple rules, but the way you use them is what makes for the complexity. And that's something I really always appreciate about puzzle games.
And the game really, really mostly keeps upping the ante and escalating the different uses for your skills. But the basic skill set never really changes that much. That's really cool. That's a very confident way of designing stuff, I'd say.
Okay, my friends, the spikes again. So I need something else. So I need two. Oh no. Probably it's like one lever per side. So let's just give this a try. This closes. And just standing here will open this. Okay, that makes sense. Because I was kind of hardwired to. There are two of these plates. I need to use both to get on, right? And now it's like, no. You can just use one, and it will have an effect to allow you to go to the next region, to the left and the right. It's nice. Okay, let's start with my friends here. And I can already tell I probably. Oh no. I was like, I need to take the body with me in some way, but yeah.
But you were doing well. You were doing well enough. It was really the fraction of a second.
Here we go. More spikes. Oh no.
Yes.
Okay, let's do this right. Here we go.
Ooh, very good.
Oh, the timing changed. I was anticipating the same timing as with the last spikes, but they stayed up a little longer. Here we go. Here we go. Don't run when you don't have to.
Exactly right.
Look, they stay up a little longer. Ah, yeah, okay, I see what he's doing. Okay.
It
nice.
lulls you into the sense that you have to be really fast for the last set as well.
So let's go with what we said first and observe before we do something.
Yes.
The first, the second, and it's always the same pattern. Okay, that makes sense. So let's wait. Oh, 2. Okay.
Which is also pretty good because by this time you might actually have depleted your stamina. So this last step of the way is not dependent on.
Okay, let's just do this once more. I ran when I didn't have to, just to make sure this really works out now in this run. That will be close. Yeah, I saw that when I started. Here we go.
Careful.
Okay, okay, okay. And it's almost like when you come back to the corpse and you know that your stamina will replenish. It's always like you feel like you can take a breather, and it feels a little like coming home, if you get what I mean. Like you are away from the corpse for a certain period of time, and then it's like, okay, and now I'm back again.
It's like a little. It's like
weird.
a little
It's
home.
really weird.
It's like a little home base, right?
Yeah, and it's so weird because it's a corpse.
Yeah, it's. I mean, this is. It stands to reason that this is by design, but it's still fascinating how you'll start to think of this body as your little buddy. Even though you never. I mean, it's not like he gets up at any point and comes back to life. So
okay, I need to go a little faster there. Now we are in Demon Souls territory again.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, because here I don't have to run. And I learned, don't run when you don't have to, because you will need the stamina. But then here, running is needed.
Yeah, or you won't.
Get up, get up, get up, get up!
It's all right. It's all right.
All right.
Ooh, boy.
Okay, let's see. There are only 2 patterns. That's already good. So we need to go there, and there, and there. Let's try this. I really want to run, and it's so hard to fight the temptation of running.
I think this one is actually, the left one is actually the more forgiving of the 2. Yeah, see? The other one felt more complex.
And it looks like I'll have to do it again. Let's see.
Not necessarily, I think. Because look,
yeah, we'll see what the lever does. So
yeah, I think you have that lever here, and that will, yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, I think as far as I remember, the game really never really like. Of course, if you die during a puzzle, you have to redo it. But I think the game never becomes so unfair as to let you do the same stuff over and over and over again for no reason.
So what triggers the spikes?
I have no idea. I think. There.
I see. Go, go.
Go through the door. Leave the body.
Yeah, I'm trying. Okay, I could have done the lever here.
Oh, all right. They stay up.
Probably they'll go down once they went through the entire cycle.
Yeah, I think they won't.
Okay.
I think you really are on a timer here. Okay.
Come on, my friend. Okay.
You
This
need
is
to.
like the fine-tuning you talked about at the very beginning of the stream. So you need to make sure that you can grab the hands.
And I think you after collapsing that first platform, you probably should have gone back for him because you're on a timer there.
Come on. No, too far. Okay, I need to do this again.
Yeah.
I think I can do both. Pro gamer at work.
Yes, excellent. Yeah.
Oh, I'm enjoying this so much. By the way, when I'm not talking a lot during this stream, it's really because it is kind of stressful and straining to play the game, but in a really good way. So I try to be really concentrated. What's happening now?
Here's Johnny.
He just wants to play. Run. Whoa, okay.
Phew, got away. And this is level 2 done, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Okay, so let me just say you'll learn to hate these guys and very quickly. Now wait a second. Yeah, not there. See, these, as long as they can get to you in a straight line, they will. So this is very much about finding a way to either bypass them or to run circles around them. Like, yeah. So now you gain a couple of seconds where he has to readjust. And now for this next one, wait a second. Wait here. See, now he can get to you because there's a wall. So what you really want to do is try to lure them towards you. See, and for this guy, you really want to get him somewhere where he
Okay, too close. Okay, I'll lure him away. I think this is the best way.
You lure him away, and ideally to a place where he can then no longer reach you. Like you could, for example, you could try to lure him into one of those little areas there.
Again, you're spoiling too much.
All right.
I appreciate the little hints. They are great. Let's try this. Okay. I mean, when I'm bringing up here, he'll be able to
No, he
use this
cannot.
ramp too.
See, if I remember correctly, he won't be able to use that ramp.
Okay, if you cannot run anymore, you're basically dead.
Yeah. So yeah, with these, that's the truth. Like, if your stamina is used up, there's basically you have no hope of.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Kill me, please. You need to carry the body here.
see, and he can't hurt you now. But if he has to turn to see you, he will.
Ah, okay, I see.
And this, for example, if I remember correctly, was one of the areas that we talked a lot during playtesting. Because when you're first confronted with these, it's like I argued that you really need some time to be able to work out how they operate.
Okay, but it can't get up the slopes. This is important to know.
It cannot get up slopes. That's right. And it cannot go through walls. It can, however, this is just a quick hint to be careful. It can occasionally kill you through walls with its giant pedal. Like, this is just a bit of dodginess that I think is not intentional. But like, if you were to approach him now, he would probably be able to kill you even though he's on the other side of the wall.
Okay.
Very nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this is cool, isn't it?
So what is happening here? Well, these fake reflections done in dreams.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
See, I think this is just a little breathing space here. Like, if I remember correctly, there's nothing...
Yeah, but at the same time, what I said is exactly like this, right? So you enter the space and you are anticipating something to happen. You are anticipating some of these guys showing up. And that's the kind of tension it builds up without actually then doing this, right? So it plays with the expectations in a really nice way here.
I think you're right, and at the same time, it's I think it's a bit ambivalent because on the one hand, of course, you are expecting the big guy to make a return, and on the other hand, after these claustrophobic passages, you have this nice open space. See, and this is this is the hub level I kept referring to.
So I'm just wondering, because we are a little more than 90 minutes into the stream now. Is this a good place to maybe cut off the stream and invite people to play for themselves? or does it make sense to keep going for a little more to show some more stuff?
You can maybe walk around the hub a bit, because there's quite a lot to see and do here,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's that for the levels that split off from here, suffice it to say that they have some of the craziest and most unique and most interesting puzzle gameplay that you will have seen in Dreams. And
from
maybe
what I've
even
seen so
Dreams.
far, I can totally get that.
And this is not giving too much away, because it's very obvious in the visual design. Like, you have this central tower with this huge thing that you need to activate. And as you can see, there are these 4 glowing lights.
Mm-hmm.
And only once all of the 4 have been activated will the central elevator start to work. So what your next task basically is to go out into the city and to see how and where you can activate these different stations or these different substations.
So it's one of those games that starts off in a really strong manner, and you feel like it's something really unique, and
Careful.
The mechanics are really nice.
Careful.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it keeps somehow improving on that. So that's something I noticed right away. Every level I played so far has done something new, something different that keeps the experience fresh. And by this time, when the first enemies were introduced, I was like, okay, that's really nice, and maybe it's time for a little change. That was really what I was thinking when I went through the last door. And the fact that exactly in that moment, you are basically presented with a different take on the formula, with this kind of more open space where you, as you just referred to, have to do some stuff in this hub world to advance. I think that's a really, really nice choice.
And what's really great about this hub level is that it actually it works in 3 different ways. Like, on the one hand, it works as a hub for you to reach other levels. On another level, it works as a level in its own right, because as you'll be seeing in a minute, there are all these kinds of areas where you basically have to place.
I hear a guy.
Yeah. Like, it's a stealth. It's all one huge stealth puzzle. See, and now there's another guy.
I cannot get away. Whoa.
See, and now
it took my corpse from me, and this is basically my death sentence, I guess.
And so that you're just discovering the second way in which this level works, which is as a level in its own right. Like, it works as a rather complex. Oh. Is the corpse still gone?
Permadeath.
No, you probably you have to.
I need to retrieve it from the.
Oh, no. Actually, you know what? This is actually the third thing I was going to say. There are set pieces inside this level, this hub level, that work as little sub levels, so to speak. And if I remember correctly, there's this one set piece where one of the birds takes away the corpse, and you now actually have to go and look for it, and look where it might have taken it. And I think there's some kind of parking garage-like structure in the level where you can actually.
Okay, I like that a lot.
Go to.
So what happened now is that I always start at the same point, and I have a limited amount of way that I can go because I run out of stamina. So probably I'll have to probe into different directions now. This doesn't seem to be the right one. But it seems to tell me to go into that direction because I'm orientated in that way. Okay, I cannot end the stream before I found my corpse again. It's a little bit like the middle part of the original Half-Life, where you basically get all your weapons and all this stuff, and once you feel really strong, there is this scene where you go to the kind of garbage grinder, and you lose every weapon you have, and you are back to your crowbar. And it feels very much like that. So you got accustomed to the corpse in that sense, in regard to the gameplay mechanic. And then there is a point in the game where this is taken from you, and
I think
you need to start.
just to give you one little hint, I think you really want to avoid open spaces. Like try to go through the back streets because that will make it much easier to mitigate those robots because they'll have a harder time spotting you and moving towards you.
Mm-hmm.
Like once you're in an open space, you're basically fair game for them. And you can lure them somewhere and then pass behind their backs when they have no more.
And I remember that earlier in the game.
See now, this guy's now take. If you now move around the corner, these guys are taken care of because they cannot follow you. And see, off in the distance there was an area of interest, I think.
I remember that earlier in the game there was this.
I think you have found the right place, actually. I think this is the parking garage I was talking about.
Yeah. So I'm looking for these little circles that showed up earlier when I came close to the corpse. So there was this kind of visual indicator. Doesn't show up though. Not sure.
But this is you're definitely in the right place. Like it's at the top. If I remember correctly, it's at the top of this parking garage.
Here's at least something I can do.
And that's what I meant when I said there are these little sub-levels. Like this isn't even an actual level, like not in a different scene, but there's this little sub-area that almost feels like a level of it on its own.
Yeah, definitely.
Careful.
Okay, I won't be able to make that. Probably I shouldn't be here.
Yeah,
to find the corpse before.
I think you should. I think this is it's just a stealth area where you need to sneak up
and it's basically reset me to a different location. Now I'm not starting in the middle of the level, which seemed like the middle. I'm starting here, so it looks like I did something right.
Yeah, but you can sneak in there.
Yeah, just earlier I didn't have any stamina left, and it wasn't possible to sneak in there without running. So I was wondering whether this was correct.
This is, of course, dramatic irony, but this rather reminds me of Thomas and your tower level in desert tower level in RID.
It's similar in the sense that it introduces these kind of stealth mechanics. That's true. Okay, not yet, I see. Oh, let's figure this out. So the first one was nice, that worked. Yeah, we are back here. Okay, we wait. And then the nice thing is it's always, okay, too greedy. It's always going around in a clockwise circle. That's good. One.
I wonder.
Let's go here.
Yeah. That's it. good. And take a look to the right. Is there... No. But there's... Maybe
one
back
more.
there. Ah, there you go. And it almost feels like a little dungeon in that way, right?
Mm-hmm. It does. So I guess now something has happened to some part of this level.
Yeah, there's this area right below the robot head that I think you can now access.
You mean I can rip out his heart? Oh, it's so weird. Okay. That sound.
Well, okay, that just happened.
Yeah. Oh, there you are, my friend. Nice. So we are reunited again. Oh, cool.
And see, now there's one of these
Yeah, that leads back
towers.
to the middle, and if this one is activated, as you said earlier, it's one part of the main puzzle that I need to solve. I see. Yeah.
Just so. And you have, all in all, I think you have 4 of these.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 of them, I think, can be accessed from this main hub, like are part of the main hub themselves. And 2 more are cordoned off into actual levels, like where you actually have to go to a different scene. But after completing those levels, you will come back here.
Really nice. Great. So it feels like this is a great great point to finish the stream for today. I'll definitely keep on playing. Now that I'm hooked, I really want to see the other levels, and especially giving all the little foreshadowings that you mentioned, that there's interesting stuff to come. Some of the most complex and intriguing puzzle gameplay in Dreams. I mean, that's high praise, and I'm looking forward to that.
And for those of you who are still watching along, like we've spent about 2 hours, give or take, on this so far. I think there's at least another hour to be had in there, if not more. Like there are the two bigger levels that split off from this central hub. The shifting place and the breathing place, is what they're called, and it's no idle banter to say that those are some of the craziest, most involved, mechanically most involved games you'll get to play in Dreams. We debated beforehand whether we wanted to show them off or not. We actually decided against it because it would actually be doing you a disservice to just show them out of context. It's far better to reach them naturally throughout the game, and you should do so. It's a crazy achievement what Orksom has done here, and even if this game is only available in an unfinished state, it's still one of the absolute high marks of game design in Dreams.
Yeah, definitely. So from what I played now, I can only reinforce that. So it felt so fresh and so cleverly designed in many ways. So the puzzles never got tedious. When I failed, it felt like it was my fault for not observing the world in as much detail as I could have, or being too greedy, not timing my moves correctly. So it never felt like the game was working against me. It was like a great challenge that once you saw how to solve it, and once you basically kept all your senses together, you were able to pull off nicely. So I think this is something that's always great to say about puzzle games, that they feel challenging, but not in a way that feels unfair. And that's definitely true here.
Definitely. And one thing we haven't even mentioned yet, which I think we should mention because it's so crazy to me. Like I said, Orksom has been developing this for almost 3 years, and when he started out, he was 17, and I think he's now 19, if I remember correctly. So this is really as one of the first games somebody has made, or maybe even their first game, this is an incredible achievement. Like even in an unfinished state, this is much more involved and much more interesting than a lot of puzzle games that are commercially available. And I simply cannot wrap my head around the fact that somebody would have made this at 17, 18 years of age. It's incredible. It's an incredible achievement.
And all that being said, I think we kind of come full circle. So we started the stream with your little disclaimer in regard to the current situation, the things that are going on in regard to Dreams as a platform. And having played this game again and getting this background on when the creator started to do this, how old he was, I think it speaks to the power of the platform, and it speaks to the potential that Dreams holds. And it, at the same time, makes me a little sad because I would have loved to see Dreams supported for a longer time. I would have loved Dreams to be pushed more by everyone around it, by Sony, but also by Media Molecule themselves. I think there's so much potential in here, and it really is a tool that can help you to unearth your own creativity to make these things happen, like here. I mean, I think many people voiced this in the context of the announcements that Media Molecule made. Many people wouldn't have come into game design. Many people wouldn't have been able to basically get their ideas across in the manner they did, and as Orksom did here, if it wasn't for this really accessible and nice platform that Dreams is. And I can only hope that despite all the limitations that we'll be having in the coming years due to the restrictions in server space and due to no further updates, at least no optional updates, right? So they said they will fix critical bugs and stuff like that. But I hope that this platform will stay alive and people will still use it, because this potential won't be over just because there aren't any updates anymore. This potential will stay, and yeah,
totally.
I hope this will get used.
And you know what? I mean, obviously there are different approaches to this and different positions to this. And like I remember Dorian, who's been a great and versatile Dreams creator for several years at this point. I remember him posting the other day that he just couldn't do anything Dreams related at the moment because everything was so gummed up with feelings of failure and of disappointment. And I really get that. I really get that a lot because for a while there I was feeling the exact same way. But even if you were to look at this in the most cavalier attitude possible, then the fact is still true that there's a massive amount of fantastic Dreams content at this point, and a massive amount of really, really talented creators. And I mean, look, we all spend so much time with this. We might as well, even in the worst universe, we might as well try to wring every last drop of enjoyment out of this as long as we can. And nobody knows what will happen later next week when the server move starts. Nobody knows what will happen in September when support officially ends. Nobody knows how long those servers will be staying on. We all hope it'll be for a long time, but even if it isn't, while this lasts, there's still a lot of enjoyment to be had in this community and a lot of fantastic content. And now more than ever, fantastic creations need players and need people trying to give them a chance. And under normal circumstances, a game like this here, this is stunning, by the way, stunning visual idea. Under normal circumstances, I mean, Media Molecule was all over Strain whenever an event took place. For every Dreamscom, for every feature, they were always saying how great a game Strain was. And under normal circumstances, this would have been the talk of the town in the week it came out. This would have been featured heavily on their stream. This would have been might have been an MP winner. The demo was an MP nominee. all of that is no longer happening because basically Media Molecule, for the most part, have decided to move on. That doesn't mean, however, that we cannot give it the attention it deserves. And that is still what we want to do with the series, to search out fantastic content in the Dreamiverse that has been in development for years in some cases, and give it that one moment in the limelight in hopes that people will give it a chance, people will still play it, people will still check it out. And even if you have never interfaced with Dreams in any way, I think just for the catalog of fantastic content, it's still worth the price of admission. I firmly believe that it's still worth the price of admission. Would we have wished for another option? Would you have wished for different circumstances? You bet. But in the absence of those, I think the very least we can still get from this is to give the absolute mountain of fantastic content a try and a fair shake, and that's what we're here for.
Really nice words, and I can only concur. I mean, the one thing that I would have wished for, and maybe this still happens, is that Dreams is free to play.
Yes.
So I get they need to make money with it. I get the service cost money, and so creating in Dreams as a platform, I totally get that. They need some bucks for that, and they should. They deserve it. It's a great engine. It's a great platform. But at the same time, I mean, we are 4 years into Dreams, counting the beta too, and there are so many of these games that are not only like small showpieces or small stuff that was done for, let's say, a gem or something like that, which is great and which is part of the Dreamiverse too. But these are games that people really, as you said in this case, worked on for years of their life. Yeah, they did this with 3 years of their life, and it's such a pity that not more people can enjoy this. And the player base of Dreams could be so much bigger if just people could explore this freely, could explore these games freely. And I'm firmly convinced that people who explore this and stumble upon games like this, they will gladly pay some money for Dreams to also start creating themselves in this platform. So maybe this is just a last wish that I have, and I would like to add, maybe if some marketing guy from Sony or Media Molecule is listening, please consider this and consider really making it free to play. Free the games that were made with years of devotion in this platform, and give us an opportunity to really share these games with people that don't have Dreams yet. And I think this is something that is so important, especially now that we are in kind of the, let's say, limelight phase of Dreams in regards to it's an established platform. There are many great games on it. Let's try to share them as broadly as we can, and look for opportunities to do that. Games like this, and there are many more examples, some of which we have shown already in this series, some of which we will show down the road, they deserve as many players as possible. And that's just something very personal that I'd like to highlight.
And I couldn't agree more. And as for today, please do give Strain a try. It's like we said, it's one of the most original, interesting, vexing, darkly mysterious things you'll be able to play in the Dreamiverse. It isn't finished, but you'll still get more than your fill of gameplay out of it. And I'm actually, as for the state of it not being finished, I'm actually in two minds about this. On the one hand, it feels kind of fitting in a way. Like, this is such a dark, mysterious, thought-provoking piece of software that I honestly couldn't even imagine what kind of ending I would have expected. On the other hand, I'm equally like, how cool would it be if some other creators would band together, people like, I don't know, Spineblood or Ramstein or what have you, would team up and get this over the finishing line. Whatever happens, please do give it a try. And there are, in fact, as for Strain, there are two more things I would like to quickly address. Kemian, could you exit the game for a second there?
Mm-hmm. So before I exit, this was something I wanted to ask. It will save the current status of the game.
Yes.
Okay, so that's good to know.
Like I said earlier, it's really good. Great. It's really good about that too. Like, you will never, you will spawn back in that level. Wait a second. Don't shoot too quickly. Two things I wanted to point out. One, there's the game itself, and we've already put that in our collection for the Dreamiverse Deep Dive. I wanted to two things I wanted to get at. One is that Orksom has also released all kinds of half-finished or cut levels or bonus content from the development phase. And he has made a really cool collection where you can even take a look at what was planned as the ending of the game. Most of this is unfinished, but it's fascinating to get a look at the process. And I think if you have to release your stuff unfinished, then this is basically the gold standard to even include the stuff you were still working on. And I think this is the last. Incidentally, this is the last level I playtested on. I never even managed to get through it all the way. But like this is fascinating because it shows you how it all comes together long before it starts looking like a finished level, and the mechanics inside of it are still rock solid. So give that a look as well. It's fascinating content. The other thing that I really love is that there's actually Strain actually received some fan art. And what I mean by that is that it's me, Juvie, who's also a prolific and very talented creator, has actually created a piece of fan art for Strain, showing off the main character. And I think this is just such a lovely love letter to Orksom's creation that he actually went in there and made a completely made a piece of 3D fan art completely from scratch. Like this doesn't use any of Orksom's assets, but it's really a complete creation from scratch. And I love stuff like this. I think it's a wonderful way of paying tribute to such a brilliant Dreamiverse creation.
It also shows how closely the community actually is knit together in many ways. That we have this kind of appreciation for one another, and I think this is something that has always been a hallmark of the Dreams community. And let's just try to carry this over to the time after the server migration.
Yes.
Maybe we can contribute a little bit to that.
I mean, it's anyone's guess if any of this will still be there come next week. We certainly hope so, and we certainly hope we can take another Dreamiverse Deep Dive before long. I'll be updating the collection in a minute, so you will be able to play the content from tonight's stream. But of course, all of this is already available in the Dreamiverse, so you can just search out Strain as well. That works, of course. And with that, I think, Kamian, thanks for going into it blind and
it was a lot of fun
through it all. Orksom, thank you so much for this amazing creations. I've said it before, yeah. I'll gladly say it again. Playtesting this will remain one of my defining Dreamiverse experiences. Like this is very much what Dreams is about. Finding this kind of gem and this kind of diamond in the rough is really what maybe is one of the best things to have come out of Dreams. And we'll be trying and endeavoring to find more of those fantastic games and more of this fantastic content. So thanks everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for paying attention. And until our next Dream Dive, talk to you soon, hopefully. Have a happy server migration, I guess.
happy server migration. Yeah, that's nice. So again, from my side too, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for the great game, Orksom. It has been a lot of fun, and I'll definitely play it to the end. And everything you said, Schreppy.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.